Hi everyone, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio. I hope you are well, and I hope if you have some creative time today, you can journal with me. I am working in one of my current journals, my junk journal today. I also have a Hobonichi, and today in my junk journal, I'm playing around with some lists, poems, sentiments, having some creative fun. Blackout or found poetry style, and I think it's going to be a fun session. So please grab your supplies, and I hope whatever sort of journal that you like to journal in, that you can journal along today. So this is a smaller mini list journal that I've been using and made to go inside this junk journal. It's a chunky one and between the three signatures there's a lot of spaces. I made this writing board and put that in. That was a really fun project I did last week. And I've been enjoying this mini list journal that I also keep in between the signatures to write about some fall holiday celebrations like Thanksgiving and just shopping lists and things like that. Things to just keep me organized. So today I've picked a page in the junk journal and taken some book pages to use as ephemera. I've been playing around with some envelopes with the book pages, grabbing some bits and pieces from some pretty scrapbook paper I have, and some more tree images from some old books that I've had as well. And today I've decided to use the book pages as making a pocket, and I'm going to use, I don't know if you're familiar with poetry and found poetry. I really enjoy writing poems and creative writing and all that sort of stuff. So today I thought I would combine the idea of found poetry, or a list poem in this case, on this book page. So this book page has a winter flower garden, and what I'm doing is just outlining words that sort of pop out to me as potentially good in, I don't know, a list poem. I'm going to use that term loosely, but basically that's a very creative poem where it's almost like instructions, but there's still a kind of a poetic sentiment to it, I guess. And I think whatever you do, you could just pick out quotes to highlight, or again use found poetry techniques for I don't know, a more stylistic poem. Anyway, I decided to use the simple winter flower garden poem, list poem, as my sentiment today, and also as a very useful pocket. So here we go. Here's the blackout poetry technique. I took some time off camera, and these are the different ways that I used my micron to make the text and also the illustration stand out. So the first thing is, if you're doing any sort of sentiment or poetry in this technique, all you have to do is make a little label around the words that you want to highlight. So today I did a simple label and just put some scallops around the words that I wanted to highlight. And then I used the cross-hatching technique in the background to black out or gray out, so to speak, the background words. And now I'm putting in, just because the theme of the list poem is a winter garden, I'm putting in something that I have in my garden, which is a purple coneflower or echinacea. And I'm just doing sort of a gumdrop shape on top, a simple doodle illustration with, these long leaves and a little bit of, I don't even know what you would call it, maybe fringe between, just some line work between the gumdrop shape and the long petals, which those are petals, they're not leaves. And now here comes the stem and the leaf part. So in the stem and the leaf part, I'm doing a very simple leaf. And so that is the basic how to draw this flower. So anything that makes you happy in terms of a doodle, a leaf, a flower, or whatever the theme is of the book page that you have, you can sort of customize it and make it into something that you really like. So now I have the larger coneflower in the front, and I'm doing a little bit smaller one in the background as I continue to doodle this illustration. So this is a very free-flowing process, nothing fancy, and the winter poem that I decided to highlight goes like this. A winter flower garden, good drainage, potting soil, bulbs, patience. Store in cool, not freezing place for 12 weeks. Warmth and light, winter garden bloom, grow. So that's how the words were highlighted using the blackout poetry technique on doodling and illustrating for fun around the top part and the sides. And then I did outline, this happened to be a book page, which was perfect timing. It's a November book page, so I outlined that too. And the next thing I'm doing is making a little bit of a tag, is what you call it. Oh, words today, words. Some days, with a doily, and I'm using the doily actually on the back for my writing spot today as I document some of the things that are happening and have happened this week. So I have the doily on the top. I just thought that was cute. Little bit of fringe there, trimming off the edges, and that gives me a more of a blank space to do the documenting in the back. So how is your journaling going? Are you working in a particular style of journal? I really feel that I love all sorts of journals, and whatever sort of journal you're working in, and I hope you're enjoying your supplies and have a little time to journal today, that it doesn't really matter the style journal you have, whether it's a bullet journal or a composition notebook or junk journal. I think so many of these techniques you can apply to many different styles of journal. So I hope that the blackout poetry and doing a little sentiment or poem today gives you an idea for something that you might enjoy. On the home stretch, as I like to say, for this project, I have these nice little pinkish magenta tabs that are sort of like those, I guess they're really photo corners, you would call them. And I'm putting them on the pocket. I just think it adds a little pop of color since I decided to do the blackout poetry in the black micron. And now the last part of this session is to document. I got a phone call from a family member last night, and we're confirming the numbers for Thanksgiving, and I'm hosting, so we're trying to figure out the menu, and nothing out of the ordinary, but just making sure we have have our plans organized. So I hope this was a fun session for you. Here is the illustration and a little bit of the list poem. A lot of fun, some creative journaling today, and I hope you had some creative time to journal as well. I really appreciate you stopping by my channel. Thank you so much for watching.